All
right, we'll come back to order. I know you don't have your dessert yet, but we got a lot of great stuff going on today, so we want to get at it. First of all, I've got the pleasure of giving out an award today that most all of you have never heard about. In Lions International, there's a lot of awards. The highest award you give out is the Ambassador of Goodwill, which they give out 35 a year to amongst 1.5 million Lions. So that is the #1 award. The second award is the President's Award, which they give out about 1,700. And this is again for outstanding service and leadership throughout the world. The third highest award is the one that I have, which is the Leadership Medal. And this is given from the international president. There's 2,000 of these given out a year. And it's given out for, again, outstanding service, not just in the club, but in the district, but also internationally. And I'd like to have Scott Brady come up here.
So this one, you won't be enough, Gary won't be enough.
You got it, camera? And I'm gonna pin it on, now you don't have to wear it, it's got a magnet on it. And it's, again, from International President, Dr. Patty Hill, from Canada. And, again, there's one magnet somewhere. So the magnet somewhere, so it looks like that, you get to wear that. I got the back of the magnets probably in my car. The good news is I won't stick it in there.
It'll stick up here. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Probably stuck somewhere. Yeah, it's stuck somewhere. We got a picture. But again, when you look at what Scott has done for our club in terms of the leadership of really the eyeglass recycling and the vision missions. We just came back from a trip to Suriname, which was a trip that took 2 years to plan. And even though there was 13 of us on the trip, Scott was really with us. He couldn't physically go, but without his work, that trip would not have happened. So, thank you, Scott. I'm going to wear that to church Sunday.
Yeah.
Also, this past weekend, we had the state convention, and Cheryl had further training for the new job that she was elected for a week ago as the district governor-elect. She'll be in charge of the whole district this coming year and going to Australia in a month to get inducted and probably have a little bit more fun. So can I ask him to tell us anything about the social this summer?
I can't remember the date.
I've got the date
I've
for you.
got the date. No, Till May.
It's July 18th.
July
Thursday.
18th.
Yeah.
July 18th.
Yeah.
Here, I got it in 6 down.
Cascade Park, 6 to 9.
Thanks,
At Cascade Park on Thornapple Road. There you go.
Okay, this is summer picnic. We'd like to get everybody there and bring your families or kids or grandkids or a neighbor or anybody you can pick up on the street that you want to bring along. Have a good time.
Yeah.
Drive Provision, Jamie, can you talk about that? Okay.
Drive Provision is June 17th at Quail Ridge Golf Course. New tee off time, we're going at 9 o'clock. I should have gone up front, shouldn't I? Yeah, I can go up there if you want. And it's coming along pretty well. Looks like we got about 17 foursomes, but we could use a few more. We'd like to get up into the low 20s. Or if you just want to play golf and you don't have a foursome, let us know. We can probably match up. We got a couple singles out there. Also, sponsorship is still open, whether it be a tee sponsor or you know, variety of options that we have. Some of them are tied with foursomes, some of them are just regular. We have a need for raffle prizes. So can use all of that right now and would appreciate it. One of the things that is going to be a little different this year, we don't have GRO as our title sponsor. And with that means we don't have a slew of volunteers, and we could use some volunteers that would be able to be out on the course or help at registration or inside, that type of thing. We don't need a ton, and it can be a lot of fun, and it's a nice day, and there is a keg out there that you're allowed to drink also. So that would be fine. You know, so, just let me know or Kyle know, and we could use a few volunteers. And if anybody needs a brochure,
Jamie, on volunteers, do you have any time slots available that you?
not that precisely, no. It starts at 9 o'clock, it ends at 2 o'clock, and if you're gonna work the morning time frame, then that's good. We need you there by 8 o'clock in the morning, and we could work around and make things work. Something like that, that would be fine, or however it goes. Yeah, the middle section depends what you want to do. It might be that there's not a whole lot to do between 10 o'clock and 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock. Anybody else that needs some brochures? No, and Ann does, but she's been working hard for us to get us some prizes. We appreciate that, because we do want to have a few things there to pass out to people. So, yes. Okay. All right, very good.
Thank you, Jamie. We'll be back to you in a minute. Kyle, can you tell us about the annual dinner?
Sure. It is Tuesday, June 11th at Watermark. Can't remember the name of the room, but it's a big circular room. 6 o'clock, you know, till 8:30-ish or something like that, or I think Cheryl's gonna send out an email with the menu options. We've got a a week or so ahead of time before we have to RSVP and put your menu choices in, but there's a few choices for us, and there'll be a bar and everything like that, and yeah, look for the email with details from Cheryl. Tuesday, June 11th.
Any kind of dress code?
No.
Okay, so you don't have to have a tie on?
No.
So more summer casual?
This would be.
Okay, great. Great. It's also a great event. We'll induct our new members, have some awards to give out. And can I have Kelly? Kelly, can you tell us about any service that's been going on lately? And anything coming up?
Nothing coming up, but last night we, 5 of us met at the kids' food basket and, packed up, cucumbers and sunflower seeds, to be distributed to the staff suppers.
It was amazing to hear the number of meals that go out for an evening.
Was it 3,000 or 30?
9,000.
9,000.
9,000 meals go out for dinner. You know, we think about breakfast and lunch for kids in school that don't have breakfast at home and don't have lunch and do that, but 9,000 meals a day are put together there for folks that don't have meals. So next time you see the kid food basket, it's a great thing to go and work. We had a great time, met some young people there that were students, high school students that were working to get their hours for National Honor Society and other things like that. And pretty interesting talking to them while we're working. And we were just moving straight, packing stuff. Great time if your kids or grandkids are old enough. Young lady I was next to was 14, 8th grader, junior National Honor Society, and going down to wants to be a doc. And so it's a lot of fun besides really doing something where there's a great need. And we don't have to arrange everything. We just plug in and go, and you do it, and they give you gloves and do whatever. So that's great. Build a Beds, actually, there's another Build a Bed project on June 8th. That's Saturday. We'll let you know if anybody's around. If you want to go and sand down the woods, they still need beds being built for kids in Grand Rapids that don't have a bed to sleep in. Brad, how many beds would you say we've been a part of?
The first two were 60 each. That's what I went to. But less because there weren't as many people at 25.
Okay.
But finishing up some of the earlier ones.
So hundred and forty-five beds we helped make, for kids and also provide mattresses and pillows and linens for those kids to have something to sleep in beside the floor. Jamie, tell us.
Okay. Last meeting of the year. I'm sure everybody wore their pin because they hate to, have the last one come up short. So, if you didn't get your pin, I'm here. So, do we have any happy bucks? Yes. That looks like a very happy buck.
That's what I get for being gone for 3 months.
What was your name again?
Yes.
We got a bunch of happy bucks, so my lovely daughter joining us today. And good friend, neighbor, and our speaker, Jim Horman. I retired Jan 1, and
One day ahead of me.
yes, actually it was 12/31. I guess we're the same day. We've been traveling a lot and keeping busy, and I start a part-time job tomorrow at Kingsland Hardware in Cascade. So come on over. I'll be your local hardware man.
Isn't that great? What are you gonna be doing? Plan for retirement?
Are you gonna be counting the nuts and bolts?
That's right.
Returning to your youth. Isn't that what you did as a
I
kid?
did as a, high school.
Yeah.
Okay, got another happy buck over here.
Just celebrating 3 wonderful sunny days in Michigan over the weekend.
Anybody else? Oh, do we have any guests that I've, no worries?
We had a couple at the back table there, we got everybody here.
Yeah, there are a couple. They're lost lions, not,
That's a good guy with hair.
I guess we gotta call all of it.
Oh,
that's why they both have hair, that's not supposed to be allowed.
Embarrassed me saying 2 months.
Oh,
Good guys here, Jim.
What?
That's for being gone.
it's more country. Okay.
You just cried.
No, he's done.
Pick up the rest of it. I think that's it. Yeah, Twister. Yeah, we should do that now. Grab these. Put those there for now. Along with okay.
No, it's in- That's so well.
You got the bag and the white chip.
Bag in the white chip.
Okay. So the first drawing is for $5. Then our guest draws, the speaker draws first one. Okay, and the last 3 numbers are 662. Jeff Cry. Okay, we'll get you $5 sometime. Okay. And our next is for the big prize, or the chance to not make any money. And we'll have our winner of the Lion Award here that I can't remember his name.
Leadership Award.
Leadership Award. Got Brady.
Come on, not that one.
Okay.
619.
619, that could be a. Oh, hey. Paul, yes.
Here's Jeff.
We're rooting for it. We're rooting for it, Paul, a little.
Stick it in there.
Okay.
So you're ready to go in there, right?
It's in there.
That's it. Let me hit it to the bottom.
How do you know you want five? You don't.
Go yours.
I know.
Oh. Yeah, you can take that here.
Are we able to turn the fluorescent lights off when the speakers? Sure. Thank you.
Now, Mark can come up and introduce our great program today.
So unless you are a hermit, you've heard there's a few construction projects going on around Grand Rapids. Fortunately, our neighbor 2 doors down, Jim Horman, is involved with almost every one of these. And I'm sworn to secrecy, otherwise he'll have to kill me if he tells me. But he's with Progressive Companies. He's a principal with the company. He's a member of the American Institute of Architects, and he's a NCARB, which means he can practice anywhere in the country, right? Okay, cool. So yeah, he's just was sharing with me and my wife, was it last fall, all these things going on. It's like, I gotta get you to come in to speak to my Lions members. So without further ado, Jim Horman.
Thank you, Mark. And thanks for having me. Listening to the conversation, the market that I lead in our firm is anything that's the community's civic asset. So this is the art museums, the ballets, anything for the finer performing arts, anything that is really around the downtown area. So our projects include DeVos Place, certainly the downtown market, Grand Rapids Ballet, Grand Rapids Art Museum, those type of projects. But these projects that are coming are exciting because they triple what happened with the Van Andel Institute back in the late 90s. So when you look at the impact of downtown, it's significant, and not just from a dollar standpoint, but the coolness factor that our godfathers and godmothers and Grand Action originally planned 15 years ago. So it's exciting to see that their vision through Grand Action 2.0 is going to take place here starting this afternoon at 2 p.m. for the groundbreaking of the amphitheater. So I'm rushing out of here to go to that. But just wanted to cover a couple projects because these projects have an impact on adjacent properties and housing. And so we're gonna rifle through these. I'm gonna try and set, Mark said I get the hook if I don't end quickly. So the idea is to talk about from a location standpoint. You know, we're sitting up in this area here, start over here. We're gonna talk about the soccer stadium, the amphitheater down at the S curve, and then we're gonna talk about Lion Square and then Calder Plaza up here. So together we're talking, you know, somewhere in the area of $500 million of investment. So it's significant. But to move on, we're gonna start with something that you're getting a preview because the planning is stages where the Calder Plaza work is at right now. Comprehensive planning done years ago, making this plaza something more than an urban desert. It's a little blank today. So the idea is that we're gonna make it more accessible. We're gonna put infrastructure in to help them with their performances, the way that festivals are held there. So there's a lot that's needed. In addition to the ramp itself that's below this is aging and needs about $10 million worth of work just to fix the ramp. So we're planning on between the first phase is around 20 million, and then there'll be an additional 10 million needed to build up other assets on top of this. So as we go through this programming, we're including the community at large, bringing in a lot of stakeholders, getting their opinions and their voices into the mix so that it's a large group that's represented for this facility. This is, so across the street to the west and down a block between DeVos Place and Amway Hotel is this Lion Street. And that Lion Street has been an access point for a long time to get to really Exhibitors Plaza here, back entrance up there, which is the parking that goes below grade between, or below DeVos Place. What we've done is we've pulled back everything in this. It's under construction right now. If you drive past, you'll see a lot of work going on. A lot of utilities running in there. The idea is to make it so that, what was there was this little half round amphitheater, like it's not. But to turn it to make it a little bit more green, a little bit more pleasing to walk through, to make it over to the bridge. Think of a better front door to the civic auditorium. And then to make it more accessible in a place that you could really take a little bit of refuge from the sun, or as you're making your way through town, so it's more walkable. So there's an overlook over the river. This took 2 years maybe to get approved by the state. Anything that touches the river is that there's a process. It's a big process, actually.
Does this include a new seawall, or is that just that overhang?
It's new seawall, it's overhang, it's just about everything in that one zone. And it all has to tie into all the other projects that are going along. And the goal is that we get that $93 million Rapids project back online, just in some definition, so that we clean up the waterfront and make that more accessible. So be a good compliment to be able to see a lot up there. And then, at night. So it really is an improvement, greening up a little bit of again, a not so green area of our downtown as well. This is across the river. So down this way is west, north would be to the lower left. This is the site. It's an older image. I brought it for the purposes of talking about the soccer stadium. So we talk about the soccer stadium. Soccer stadium's 8,500 seats around a soccer pitch, which makes it a big footprint. YMCA, the soccer stadium takes all of the parking lots out of play that are there today. They've always been there as a placeholder, but you can imagine the feedback on public parking. It's significant. So I'm just the bearer of bad news. But I brought a few stats in case Shelley wants to bring. She said she wouldn't heckle me. She promised she wouldn't heckle me. So really, the 8,500 seats, you have 6,290 general ticketing seats, 470 safe standing area seats, and then you have 1,935 club seats. So there's 20 suites in this soccer stadium. They're partially enclosed from the left and the right. Now I'll get off this. Before I leave, we've speculated a lot of housing opportunity with lower business. So there's a lot of development opportunities. So we're talking to a lot of developers to see who's interested in. Housing's tricky to make work right now. But that's the soccer stadium as from the S curve with the YMCA on the left. And then Bridge Street just above it. So all those businesses are gonna have a pretty big boom when this hits and goes forward. So Pearl Street's right here. So it's good access. There's access from the south, east, and the west. Partial covering for shade purposes. So this is another overall graphic that I wanted to share, because the overall for the amphitheater is, while the soccer was 8,500 seats, the amphitheater is 12,000 seats, which is 1,000 seats more than Van Andel Arena. So
Jim, can you give a reference point where?
yeah, that's a great point. So downtown is up here. The Van Andel Arena is tucked in right back here. North is upriver that way. So, and then GVSU's campus, Pew campus is down.
Yeah, the blue bridge is there to the left, the little bridge. There you go. That's the blue
There's the
bridge.
blue bridge.
For Charles Square.
Yeah, Charlie's, there's other speculations going on around that property, as you can imagine. So this really illustrates the amphitheater property, which is right where the salt domes are for the city. And then everything down to Wealthy is considered a development opportunity for housing as well. So that's a great plan to grow, likely from Wealthy, and then increasing in scale before you get to the amphitheater itself. So a few stats on the amphitheater with 12,000 seats. 7,000 seats are in a bowl that include 1,000 loose seats. And then we have 5,000 lawn seats as well. So if you've been to Meyer Gardens, a couple thousand, this is not a threat to that venue because this holds a different scale completely. Artists who could go here would never be able to go there. So it's being scheduled as we talk, actually, the performances. There are 20 loge boxes that hold 206 patrons each. And then the berm for lawn seating is 32 feet high. So a few more images on this one. The covering is roughly the size of a football field. It's a little bit longer than a football field. So the Acrisure name was applied after their generous donation, which helped to get to the right funding level to move forward.
Is this market right here?
Yes, yes, it is. Good question. And that off ramp from the southbound 131 is coming right through here. So it'll be something you see when you're heading to the south on 131 pretty clearly. The river is tucked in right along here. And we're designing, right now, the amphitheater is one area design, but there's the greening of the river as well. So that's a whole nother project that cleans up the first 50 feet on either side of the river from water out. So that'll improve that and make it more walkable, ties it into the amphitheater. The amphitheater has over time switched locations and orientation. Now it specifically points to the northwest because that's where the sound will impact fewer people. But you probably will have pretty good sound if you're on the river on the north side. So in case you don't have tickets, that would be the place I would recommend. A lot of us will probably be there, although they don't sell drinks out there, so you have to bring your own.
Excuse me, so are they building new parking for the soccer stadium and this?
Yeah, so I've been speculating on that for a while now. I think if you had ever gone to a Detroit Tigers game in their original stadium, the real winners for parking was every church that was in that neighborhood. So I think the community satisfies parking once the demand is there more than somebody pays for parking structures. We're looking at a 300 car structure right now for the amphitheater. Soccer does not have that. So it's more like going to a U of M football game on game day and parking in the neighborhoods and public transit, existing parking structures, garages. They'll all be leveraged, and then we'll find the demand and somebody's going to satisfy it. Somebody knows how to make money on parking. I think a few people feel like that here. So when you're under the structure, the acoustics, everything is geared toward that bowl effect. The stage right has artist quarters, so when guests come in, Pink or anybody, name the artist, that they have a residence area where they can stay that's comfortable and quiet and away from. There's a large back of house area for, the 15 trucks or whatever delivers the equipment and the artists to the venue. There's other work that's scheduled to happen that is around hotel, is around other businesses that would complement the amphitheater. But that's future development. That's not part of this project. So yeah, there's a lot going on with this one.
How do these events impact Van Andel Arena?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's probably going to in some way compete, but we're a limited season with this one. So hopefully as sports ramp up and we have the rise in, volleyball and hockey and basketball and everything that's playing in, that will keep adding sport and capacity in the arena. One of the most successful in the country for its size. I mean, that arena can be expanded on the south, and the thought is that they'll never do it because it's way too successful at its current size. So it's kind of funny. I guess they don't want to mess with what works.
Where does the casino go?
Next.
Kalamazoo.
So is the soccer team medium's gonna be flexible for like football or other?
Yeah, so good question. One of the other hats that I wear, I'm the board chair for the West Michigan Sports Commission. We're staring at it specifically to use off game or off practice time to bring in youth and amateur sports, and that impacts from a tourism standpoint. Sports tourism is big for revenue because we bring people in that stay in hotels. So the idea is heads in beds. Sports Commission operates on a $2.5 million annual budget and brings in around 90 million a year in spending. So if we have access to a field like the soccer stadium, we'll have, it's built for tournament play, and it's built for any bigger soccer event you could have for playoffs as well.
And not football?
Right now, we aren't talking about football, not for any reason though. I mean, there's no NDA I've signed that said I can't talk about that, but it's big enough. It's definitely big enough. A lot of this is also on the back of a hotel motel tax for an entertainment district that the governor passed through and is now coming to our community for a vote. So what pays for some of this, not much, but what pays for soccer and other projects is this 3% increase in sales tax for people who come from out of town to stay in hotels. It doesn't come out of our pockets unless we stay at a hotel. That's how some of this is being funded. So that's kind of a big deal. It was big that the governor passed it a month and a half ago-ish.
You identify just some of the groups at this size of retail.
You know, that's a good question. I know that Live Nation has that on their list of things to do. And when I said Pink as an artist, you know, there's anybody who's willing to come down to this scale. They're not playing stadiums or you know, 50,000 seat type of venues. 12 is that middle ground. So I should have had an answer for you on that. That's a good question.
No, Mark's looking for a place for next year.
Good,
Not
good.
big enough.
Not big enough. There we go. Mark this being. So these are just renderings, right? These are what come out of our computers, but when it's done, I think we'll have the chance for art. We've been talking with the new director of Frederick Meyer Gardens, and the idea of connecting this venue to an international venue, Meyer Gardens. We finished that 4 years ago. That was $80 million of investment toward what they have out there now. So it's an international draw. The question will be, our airport's growing, so we're expanding. Right now, we're on-call services out there, so we're expanding the terminal, and it'll be making way for Concourse C eventually as well. So as this growth happens, we'll bring more people to West Michigan. If they make it here, Meyer Gardens wants to make sure they can make it out there. So they're trying to connect our assets so that people know about it when they come in. They don't leave from having missed out on something else.
What's the capacity, Marker?
I was thinking 2,000, 2,100. Yeah. So 2,000, 17,000 at the arena. No, I'm sorry, 11,000, 12,000, and then 8,500. Again, that's around a soccer pitch, so it's a big footprint, even though it's only 8,500 seats. And that doesn't seat the field too. So Mark had that question for me around the arena. Yeah, Shelly.
Does the soccer stadium have a name yet?
No, good question. Yeah, no, that's a good question. It's open for any of you to buy those rights.
I thought it was Irwin Stadium.
Anderson,
Those naming rights don't cost very much. You could probably pick it up cheap. So, so one other thing that 3% tax could cover is what we're keeping an eye on, and I'm looking. Thank you. So the goal is that we're going to have eventually real conversations around $350 million aquarium, and that's a big aquarium. The ones that we benchmarked, that would make that a big aquarium. So that would bring in the billions of tourism dollars to West Michigan. That's not just one of our other venues. You know, the soccer stadium and the amphitheater, you're between $100 and $200 million to build those. 350 is both of those could put together. So it's significant.
There's been talk about being called the John Ball Zoo Aquarium, or is that something different?
No, that's a good point. A lot of zoos and aquariums fall in the same category, the same associations that run them. So they connect animal to animal, and that's why I think that they're linked. And then there's a chance that, yeah, our zoo would like to be able to lead the project, manage it, and have it all under their umbrella. Now, the county owns our zoo, so I don't have any clues on what ownership would be around an aquarium of this size. But, yes.
So who owns the park?
Who owns what?
The park, which were the space, the John Ball Park.
I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not sure.
Be the prime location, you know?
County.
No, I don't, that's another question is where would you put an asset that's worth $350 million? There's a thought that aquariums do better when they're on water. I know Muskegon had wanted the aquarium, but the infrastructure and the ability to support that many people, it doesn't exist in Muskegon, where it does exist here. So you would couple business. Would it be on the river? Right, you know, a lot of sites will be assessed, but not necessarily have to be on the zoo campuses or adjacent to it.
Who's the primary driver behind the aquarium idea?
You know, a lot of this, I would say, again, Grand Action 2.0, and then the leader of this type of investment thought in our community for many, many years. They are leading both the amphitheater, they've weighed in on soccer, any other investment. Downtown market was done by the original Grand Action team. So I don't think we have that as an understanding of who's pushing it right now. A lot of people are trying to claim it though. So I think that's okay. And then some other assets that we've done downtown that fall into this category as well, so.
Talk of expansion on possible.
I don't, we do a lot of work there, but I don't have that as a recent topic that we've really been involved with. We know we need more convention space. We know we need hotel that is oddly more hotel that's directly connected to the convention space as well. So we've studied, 10-story towers that are hotels right there with it. And, people who run conventions say you have to have hotels that are directly attached, like not even a walk through this catwalk over to. Yeah,
Well,
and
one in that corner, I know they talked about for quite a few years, about a 350 property, 300 property.
Yeah, yeah,
And then-
yeah, good point. People are staring at the post office spot.
And then that's another
Right.
one.
Yeah, asking why that government. A lot of people have tried to move the government off that property. It's not easy to do. So.
Not to harp on the parking question, but just out of curiosity, is there a coordinated effort to sort of do an inventory of available parking?
Yeah, parking, I think Grand Rapids has all those stats right now. They're leading the mobility conversation. So yeah, the answer it should be public too, frankly. I don't have it at the top of my head, but it should be public.
I was joking about the casino, but has there been any discussion? I haven't seen anything.
I haven't either. No, I know that, the one south of us is expanding pretty big too. A lot of rooms and.
Well, I think I heard that soccer stadium or the YMCA was looking at replacing it with arrangements with GVSU.
Mhm.
Parking here.
Yeah, I know that we designed the GVSU ramp and it is on a site that's able to be doubled very easily to the south.
Yeah.
Not easily, but if you have the money at this. So yeah, so anyways, thank you for having me. It's a great group.
Jim, thank you. I know you've got to run to get over there in time for the groundbreaking. We appreciate knowing what's going on. I'm getting an inside scoop. We have a little remembrance of us.
Oh, thank you very much.
So when you're having your hot coffee or tea, remember the Lions Club, and
Scotch.
hopefully we'll
Yeah, right.
Scotch. We'll have a chance to be involved in some of these projects.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you very much. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Final announcements. need some help in terms of finding a new location to meet. Okay? The Holiday Inn has been, feedback has been, from everybody attending has been mediocre. All right, today's meal was pretty good, but, so if you have an idea, any kind of thought about where we can meet, send it to me. Okay, send it to me, we'll investigate it, we've got some time in the summer to look, we're gonna move our stuff out today. Because we were only committed to be here for 6 months, which ends today. So we still need to find a place, we want a place that's a little bit more, inviting, a little bit more upscale. And a little bit easier working on the meals, because the meals have been the greatest for everybody, so, looking for input. You know, whether we go to a brewery and have a room in a brewery, that's fine. We don't have to buy beer or booze, so, if you got any ideas, shoot them, there's no bad idea. And, remember, we've got, Build-A-Beds on the 8th, opportunity, we've got the annual dinner on the 11th, you'll get that, please RSVP. And the picnic, in July. Drive for Vision on the 17th. So a lot of stuff coming up here right in June, so let's get that going, and I still have my gavel, Jamie?
Past president's meeting.
Past President's meeting is June 3rd, you got the email on that? Did you respond to me?
I don't know.
Monday night, June 3rd. Okay, Monday night, June 3rd, 5:30 at Thornapple Brewing. Okay, Thornapple Brewing on 28th Street.
Yeah, I could walk there.
Okay, nice place, we were just there Saturday for lunch. They had a lot of nice menu. I'll resend that tonight to remind everybody if you haven't responded. So again, that's past president's meeting, where we picked the, Henry Gold Award winner, and, probably have a few other great conversations. So, thank you all. Have any questions, Cheryl, you need to know?
I'm waiting for you to click so I can.
Okay, click, we're adjourned. We have cookies and everything.
Thank you very much.
No, I'm good.
If you do, let me know.
I will, but I'm good, thank